start setting the gaps on this. The deck lid is going to be an issue. When they made this body, and this, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, while it is not the latest serial number of the Hurricane Roadsters, this is the last one that left the Iowa factory before Hurricane closed, sold, and moved to Indiana. And it looks like they might have rushed this deck lid just a little bit. The contour doesn't fit. This is going to take a lot of work, and it might frankly be beyond me, but I'm going to give it a shot. I need to space this up a little bit right here and start setting the gaps. Well, good morning. Yes, I have my heater going. It's a little bit chilly out here. It's going to be warmer today, but I'm working out here in the morning, so I want to be sure that I have plenty of warmth because I don't like the cold. If you saw my short, the last one on the Cobra, you know that I'm trying to do the fitment on the deck lid. Well, I've got it roughed in. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to be doing some trimming on the actual deck lid to get the gap a little bit better at the top so it doesn't drag. And I'm also going to be tweaking the spacers on my deck lid hinges to see if I can get it to move over to the left side of the car just a little bit, about the thickness of a washer, to see if I can actually get this thing to where it's where I want it to be. So let's get started. This is what we've got so far. Right here you'll notice I have not done any gapping on this at all, but you notice I got a tape line established here to where I'm going to grind off just this section here to see if I can get this gap roughed in and see if it actually will fit without dragging when you open it up. Let's get started. One thing I wanted to point out on these is how critical it is to have the right hinge on the right side. You can see here that is labeled TD and this is TP, which is trunk passenger and trunk driver. Cannot get those reversed. And yes, I've made that mistake. My gaps are a little bit better. I've got some more to take off right over there, but it opens and closes now. And like I mentioned earlier in this right here is due to the function of the fact that the fiberglass trunk lid is a little bit warped. So this is not going to fit well. I'm going to have to build this up a little bit. But over here, you can see it works fine. I'm going to tinker with this just a little bit more. But I've got my gaps better over here. It's a little bit wide over here. I may go over one more washer to see if I can get this thing shifted this way just a little bit more. Now what you're seeing here is you're seeing my gap here, which is about right all the way down until it gets right here. So I've got my tape line here set up and ready to go. This area here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth this edge down because it's a little bit above my body line. I already did that over here and it's much smoother, so that's going to be good. You'll see I've got quite a bit to take off here to get that gap right. The gap down at the bottom is a little tight. That's not really an issue though, I can fix that. The gap at the top is just fine now. I will be doing some fine tuning on it. It's a little bit wider over there. I think I can fill a little bit and even that out. I had to notch my door handle catch because it was catching, and I also had to raise my shock mounting point right here almost a full thing, because part of what this is it was bottoming the shock out and it was pushing this out. That's actually good to go. I can fill that hole right there, not a problem. It also raises up the deck lid quite a bit more too, which is handy. This right here is what I had to notch. It needed to move over just a little bit with the new tweaking. Not a problem, it's locked in. Good to go there. When you shut it, I can keep my wires out of the way here. My wires up, now that's good. This goes down, latch is good. It's got a little bit of slack because I've got the weather stripping to go in there. This side is perfect. This side is still kicked in a little bit. I can come in here and just lay just a thin coating, skim coat here to even that out. This right here, like I said, grind that down just a little bit. This is good. I can grind that down a little bit, and of course that'll be all done when I'm shaping the corner. Right now it's squared off. I'm going to round it off using 80 grit sandpaper on that edge. Take that down right there, and the gap should be lining up really well. Okay, other than my cheap Walmart DA sander completely giving up the ghost on me in the middle of this, which means I can use my Lowe's gift card I got for Christmas from my daughter to go get a new one, I am going to consider this a complete and utter win. This looks really great, especially when you compare how it was looking before. We're a little bit high right here, but that's because I put the weather stripping on, and I can actually make adjustments to the weather stripping and make that work a little bit better. I've got some sanding to do on the actual end. That will come down and it'll be good. Everything looks good. You saw me using my paint stick method to check panel gaps all the way down, all the way down. I've got a little bit too big of a gap right here. You can see I'm going to add about a 1/16 of an inch right there. I'll do that in the bodywork phase, but the rest of it looks great. That can come down just a little bit, not a problem. But this is to the point where I'm going to consider it fit, and we're to the point of bodywork now. This right here I can grind down a little bit more. Again, this is due to the weather stripping. All I've got to do is make a minor adjustment on this right here. This right here on both sides, and if you can see, all I've got to do, this has a little bit of a lip on it, I'm going to grind that down on both sides, and that'll lower that down perfectly, because if you see, once I get that done and get this over here out to where it can sit down a little bit more, just to demonstrate. It sits down really well. The weather strip added a little bit more, and of course I can grind down all along the edges to make this a little bit new, because I've got plenty of thickness here, not going to be a problem. But this looks fantastic, and the weather stripping even pulled this out right here. Again, right here is going to be a little bit of an issue, but I can fix that with changing the weather strip up just a little bit, maybe going with a little bit thinner weather strip. But that pulled it down perfectly. I can definitely work with this. This is the hard work on one of these. And I'm thinking about using bubble weather strip with just a real softer version of it, with a tacky sticky part to go down as opposed to the clip, because the channel lock weather strip that this uses adds about an 1/8 inch thickness, which is really all I need on that particular placement right there. That's going to work perfectly. We're now to the point where I can body work this, so it is the same point as the doors and the hood are now. I'm going to end this video right here. This is a major win. I cannot explain how happy I am. I'm going to try to find some old footage to show you just how far this deck lid was off. I mean, it was alarming. I was even calling the new owners of Hurricane to see about getting a replacement deck lid, because this one was so bad. But I've managed to tweak it, tweaking the body, tweaking the location of the trunk floor, the mounts, everything, to see if I can make this work, and it looks like I've just about got it dialed in. Hit like and subscribe if you like the content. I've got much more body work coming on the Cobra, and as well as some more stuff on the other cars as well. Be sure and stick around.